Good day, my fellow passport bros and black pillars alike. And shit's been coming crazy other than my fucking hairstyle. But it was funny. Like I was actually inspired to do this video. I wasn't planning to do this, but um, no, I was just watching this video about a guy, how the world has gone completely crazy and it's out of our control and all that. But I come to just, you know what, I might as well just have my take on it in a simpler manner. Every state here in America, dude, it's just, it doesn't matter where you go. Um, and of course, some would argue that every state has its own laws and every state has their own cultures and churches and um, it don't fucking matter, dude. Because ever since I got back from the Philippines, um, yeah, just it things haven't really been, it hasn't been easy to adjust. Because like all that thrill and ecstasy just goes away after coming back. And I'm sure some of you Passport Bros can relate. Um, like I think there's one guy I usually watch. I think his name is Passport Bro Business Class. I tend to watch his content. I honestly, he seems to know a lot of stuff when it comes to currencies, globalism and all that stuff. So I do appreciate a gentleman like that who doesn't just travel and flex his receipts, but I uh, I appreciate and respect a man that he not only he respects himself, he respects others, but he is willing to share his knowledge in order to help with their struggles, or I well not really help their struggles, but I'd say share knowledge for the sake of clarity because honestly, um, I think the entire human race can use, maybe a little teensy bit of clarity, just a little bit. And every day here in New Hampshire, it's not, it just gotten worse. Um, well, not all the time, of course. I mean, there's worse states like Massachusetts, so I'm not, at least I don't live in Massachusetts. Um, but New Hampshire does have its own baggage, especially the women here. For example, it's uh, you can't have just one girl that works as a barista and what do you call, or a chick that you know works at Dunkin's. You can't get nothing right from this chick, and they're freaking everywhere, dude. Every time you go to Dunkin's, like those chicks, they end up mess up a order, or they they can't make lattes for shit. All right, and I say this passionately because part of me still loves Dunkin' Donuts. I used to eat their donut holes and all the other junk, but I choose to minimize my intake when it comes to Dunkin's. I know on the positive side, I'm glad that the pumpkin spice flavor is back. That's like one of my favorite Dunkins. But yeah, it's just man, especially you mess with people that has their special taste. Like some people prefer to have five sugars, five cream, five syrup, whatever you want, all that. And it really makes that person angry if you mess it up or mess up the order, that is, in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, so I'm just talking to like in a local scale. I'm sure some of you men can relate to this on a local scale, something you can see with your own eyes and not the freaking television or this phone, right? And that's like, it's one thing to, get information from a freaking screen, but but in local, where you live, that's another thing. There's you can actually, or at least I think you can actually learn more from your local area. Um, I'd say like how you react to those and find solutions to counteract them. You know what I mean? So I just learned to like not care anymore. Because at the end of the day, these demons, they don't care. They only care about themselves. And so what I realized was, um, a buddy of mine. We were talking on the phone yesterday, and he he was saying like the reason why um, his ex broke up with him was because he was narcissistic. Apparently that's like a favorite word for all these toxic American women. All right, and I'm not American. Okay, I'm Bosnian. For your information. Um, I mean, you could tell the way I talk, dude. I'm not American, bro. Like, I may talk like one, but I'm not, dude. Just, I mean, yo. Anyways, it's just. But at the same time, I've been learning to be focused on things that matter to me the most personally, like my music. And I actually bought two books recently. About a 1984 Hebrew Greek study guide of the King James Version Bible. And I honestly, dude, I learned a shit ton of it, dude. I was just, amazed how much knowledge and wisdom there is. Just only the first chapter, you know what I mean? And with when you read the Bible with full clarity, then you will understand how the world has become, you know. And I guess my intake on it is, um, of course, God has created evil, but I think it was intentional, obviously, in order to create balance, like balance of the force. But yeah, but now there's more of these evil deeds, these evil people in the world. More of these Satanists. You know, these freaking demonarians. And bro, like, even my buddy said he's planning to leave about next year, and he's not coming back. And that's that's pretty much where I'm going right now, is just getting my money, and not just my money, but you know my mind. Um, I think of wealth. Our currency is right now. It's a superficial thing that we can't really see and touch and feel. It's more. I think our true value is how intelligent we are and how we're able to manage our being and our reality, and as well as the material things that helps us to evolve. Or I shouldn't say evolve, but mentally or psychologically, to die again and be reborn and and form a new ego. So that's something. A lot of black pillars, gold pillars, they don't, um, when they're traveling, they don't necessarily talk about their spiritual aspects. When it comes to traveling, because that's my like, not just to get away from America, but when I want, main reason I want to travel is because so I can ascend mentally, I should say, uh, ascend religiously. I don't want to use spiritual, too much. Um, but yeah, we're all, technically we are using the spirit, because spira means breath, the breath of life. Um, yeah. And, a bunch of these dudes, like even the red pill, the dating coach scene, most of it was like pretty much that they are the main reason why the world has gone mad. All this feminist shit. Um, and the password bro is basically is the final thing. It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Oh man, just yeah, dude. It's like once you use the passport accordingly, you find a foreign woman that uh, you appreciate, that you're sexually compatible in all levels. You relate emotionally a lot, and you have mental connections. And so far with my woman, um, I can receive that she was helping me the whole time. There was not one time she was asking for money, not once, because she knew I was taking care of her anyway. So there wouldn't be any need to ask for more money like these feminazis you see in America, always desiring, over nothing, right? But we talk every day, every single day, at least 5 times a day. And the difference between, when you're long distance and dealing with the woman here, um, women here, they tend to complain about, whenever you see each other every day, they're all like, oh, but babe, we've been seeing each other every day. Like, that's a freaking, dude, that's a cunt right there. That's a cunt. Hunt. All right? Capital freaking K, dude. And, thankfully, I got away with a bunch of them. So I'm free. Of course, I got to deal with them. As long as I'm here, I'm always going to be dealing with these freaking hunts. All right? You know, and that makes all y'all, whoever's watching this, man, as long as you're in America, you're always going to be dealing with them. But once you leave the States, you, it just, the problem just goes away, dude. Or you basically exiting the problem. You don't have to deal with it. And that's how I felt when I left for the Philippines, and there was no, it, like there was no sense of distortion, but at the same time, I still had wounds, so in a way, the problems kind of followed me, and that goes for, every passport bro, every traveling lads out there. And whenever they have a problem, they try to escape from the States, it's always going to follow them. And there has to be, um, you know there has to be a time where a man has to integrate all the emotional and mental baggage that he was forced to carry most of his life, towards the government, towards the media, towards friends and family, and especially the American women. So going abroad, it's I think it's just the icing on a cake, but the base has to be all about, why are you traveling, like why there has to be a why. um I guess you could say a purpose, and some black pillars, some, you know I was watching one of them, and this guy's like, oh, you have to, or no, you don't have to have a purpose in life, you just exist. Well, without purpose, without a purpose, there wouldn't be any point to grow. You just die, right? You just die, all these rest of these normies. So of course we don't have to have like uh, an extravagant um, image of what a purpose is, but a purpose, what I think is something that we need in order to, like I said, in order to ascend, die, and reborn again, right here and here as well, and of course, recreate your own ego to serve. Yeah, so that, yeah, and I do agree with him, where the black pill does have a limit, and it's a distance limit, right? Um, once you're out of the Western world, you don't have to deal with all the limitations and the laws and certain dogmatic programming. Yeah, but once you're out, you're just out of a bubble in a way. You escape to your Never Never Land. And I want to do my best, just to end this because it's already 16 minutes. But I want to encourage gentlemen out there, never ever give up on chasing what you really need to seek, and things that will help you heal from your um, past, present, and future, of course. Because all three of those things, they may seem separate, but they all come together. They're all, in a way, um, the same plane, because, time and space is basically at the same plane, but they're not as heterogeneous, like what a lot of people think. So it's just more like you're always going to have challenges, curves, and all that, but you always end up in the in this harmonious state, as you will, logically, which is clarity, which is clear vision, which is clear emotions. All this, you know, um, when it comes to emotions, it has to do with tension in the body, and the abdominals as well. I think that's a lot of the black pillars and content creators. They think, yeah, I guess in a way they're a little bit dogmatic, a little bit. My bad. They are dogmatic, for fuck's sake. Um, They are not holistic like me. A lot of these content creators, red pill, gray pill, black pill. I mean, I'm gold pilled. But I'm at the same time, I'm more of like a neutral side. So I'm already at the freaking gold pill realm where, like, I already know an ideal place for clarity. It's a long process. It's like a downloading in the mind, so to speak. So I tend to have this element of holisticism. Excuse me. While these other dudes, they are always thinking in one, in linear, as you will. Never complex, or there's no this complexity stuff. Or yeah, it's just, or just, it could be just only strictly one subject, like looks, height, um, or status, and all that fucking shit. Which, by the way, it don't even matter because you're gonna die anyway, right? You just you just you're just operating a flesh. But anyways, hope you can take this. I wouldn't say it too personally, but something you can relate and you can share with others as well. Because we all need to think holistically. You know, I should say universally. Universally, there we go. Universally, and and I think it's also wise to just aim as much as you can for the sky, but always have a limit. You know, like, you don't have to just chase up the stars, but just chase for the skies in a way, which is, I'm talking about, just the consciousness aspect. But anyways, gentlemen, hope you have a good weekend.